Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Etheria restart video, and today we're talking about Fuqio once again. And I want to give a big thank you out there to Godslayer in the comment section for writing that name out in a way that even I could understand. So thank you for that pronunciation guide, unless you're wrong too, and then once again I'm saying your name wrong. But we're going to go with Fuqio for this video, and Fuqio has unlocked a new Inferno auto team for me, and you're seeing it here on the screen. It's Sharon Inferno, and this fight is really difficult for most players in the game because this fight functions so much differently than many of the other boss fights, where we're looking at like, hey, you stack defense down on the enemy, you give yourself attack up, you boost your character, you debuff the enemy boss to infinity, and then you do a bunch of damage and you burn them down. This fight doesn't function like that at all. Sharon is immune to everything. You cannot inflict debuffs on this chick. You can't inflict dots on this chick. So none of those strategies will work. That's where somebody like Fuqio has come in and been the glue to make a team comp that centers solely around giving your team more buffs and more utility. Because Fuqio does like three things. She's really this like multi-purpose tool, and she might not do any of those three things better than other animuses in the game that specialize in those things. But because she can do three things, it allows you to be a little more creative with your team building and opens up this like, I'm going to focus on my squad comp more so than other characters in the game. So Fuqio does three things, and you're seeing them all in action right here on the screen. One is she provides a shield. Now this is the area where she might be the best shielder in the game. Selene says, hey, look at me, my shield also like reflects damage, and true, but Selene's shielding does not absorb all of the damage done. Like some of that damage still comes through, and the shields aren't as big as Fuquio's. So Fuqio, best shielder in the game, maybe, but we always had kind of Artisan. We could use Artisan for big shields. You can still use Artisan, by the way, and just like layer those shields, so that's nice. Now, she's also healing. She is definitely not a healer on the level of like a Lingluo, but she's constantly just giving your team these little heals when they take turns or when the enemy hits you. Like, just watch. You just see on the screen, 1900 damage, 1900 damage. We just healed that up. We healed that up. You just are constantly healing thanks to her passive skill, and it's enough when combined with her shields that I'm able to take Lingluo out of here and put her in. And that's really nice because not only is she providing the shielding and the healing, she's providing turn meter boost. Like, you'll constantly just see my allies, look, they're just constantly sliding forward on that turn meter thanks to her passive. And so combining all three of those things really has been the glue for this team that has allowed me to make a squad with Dokyoki and Chiaki Echo that quite literally is not trying to apply any debuff to the boss. We just don't care about it. Instead, what we're doing is we're boosting our own turn meter, we're giving ourselves shields, we're cooldown reducing, and we're just giving Yelly the perfect opportunity that she needs to carry this fight by herself. Now, I've done a lot of different versions of this team that you've seen. I've actually done very successful runs. In fact, this is my most successful team. It's like 95% win rate. It either goes 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 8 every time I've run it all day. I have a 6 or 7 out of 8 run here where I take Chiaki the Echo out and just use 2 carries. Like, I have Didding in there. That's a faster clear, but sometimes the boss and the ads just kind of overpower my shielding and healing, and I kind of just like rotating faster with Chiaki the Echo, and having the attack buff from her on like 1 carry has been a better build for me so far. So this one got kind of close, but I think we're going to clear it right here with these next 2 turns. Now, let me talk about how like to construct a team with her and when I think she's going to be one of the best characters you can have. Oh, come on, check this. Holy moly, we're going to lock that one. Time Weave Cure, that's really good. That was a pretty dang good shell right there. That's the best supernova shell I've ever had. Probably about to upgrade that thing and use it. Anyway, you guys just got to see rarity happen live. How rare is it that you actually get a good shell to drop? It's kind of nuts. Okay, now let me tell you what I think she needs to thrive and why that has been Dokyoki. So Dokyoki does a couple things. She's most famous for her turn meter pushing, right? Like, she just pushes people's turn meter, especially if you're further to the back. I have no levels into any of Dokyoki's skills, but that turn meter pushing, more rotations through, that's great. She also does this, full override. right. This is probably the most important thing when running her with Fuqio, is that Fuqui's skill cooldowns are pretty high, especially if you're not investing into her kit with perfect lattices. And I have not invested into her at all with lattices or with Doki. And I think that's the thing that makes this combo so good, is it's a 0 lattice investment. Just none. Just I have no lattice investments at all. And it feels nice to not invest lattices and still get results. Anyway, what this does is it reduces skill cooldown on an ally. So she's going to land at least 1 or 2 of those on Fuqio. Let her just keep recycling that shield. Just keep that shield going. To make this happen even more, I'm making sure that I'm running both of them with the Halloween shell. So my Halloween shells, I don't have good ones of these yet. Like I don't have 3 Matrix Halloween shells. Haven't needed them. Like, just again, we're just cooldown reduction, turn meter cycle. And then for me, though, the most interesting glue piece for this comp was Chiaki the Echo. I was like, man, I wish I could just cycle a little bit more. And man, my team is missing an attack buff. Like an attack buff for Yelly would just help her pop off even more. Boom, there it is. Just bring in Chiaki the Echo. In fact, my Chiaki needs a little building. I will probably finish building her out, get a cooldown reduction on Bright Melody, more cycling through turns. And then I could do, I mean, there's more things I could build here with her too, like effect resist and number of allies affected by her violin inspiration, Ave Maria thing. So there's some more work I could do with Chiaki Echo. I don't know. I can max her out. So there's some work to do there. But Chiaki the Echo, a very accessible character, and being an SR that is also very useful in other game modes and very useful in PvP, I think it's a worthy investment. And then you do need the hyper carry. So I've run this comp with Didding and it works. It's not 7 or 8 out of 8. It's like 6 or 7 out of 8. He just has less HP, and sometimes they'll burn through it. Like occasionally Yelly will have a turn where she lives with just a sliver of health. When that happens to Didding, he dies. Now, an adjustment you can make for that if you have the gear would be to run like a bloodbath set on him. It'll slow your run down a little bit, but reducing those giant chunks of damage would be a helpful thing. And in fact, when I was looking through runs that other people did before, I did see people putting those sets on, like PvP gear sets, on their DPS characters to keep them alive, so the shielding and stuff like that could run through. I'm the only one I've seen using a Chiaki the Echo. Like, well, let's not look at clear time. Let's look at recent clears. I haven't seen any other Chiaki the Echoes, but she has been much better for me than Kachi the Guard. So that's like the tweak that I made for my account, and she's been better than Valerian. Now, like, Valerian will work here, but it wasn't 8 out of 8. Like, I'm just getting 8 out of 8 or an occasional 7 out of 8 with Chiaki the Echo. It doesn't make sense to me either, if that's what you're thinking. And most people you can see are sticking with a Kachi the Guard Valerian team comp, but those people are also using Lily. And the goal with this comp is replace Lily, right? Take Fuqio and take somebody like a Dokyoki. If you don't have Lily, but you do have Doki, it's a 0 lattice investment. Whereas, Lily is often a 10 lattice investment or something like that. Like, people just pump Lily with all those. Okay, so that's my run. That's kind of what I think about this character. Very impressed so far. I tried to mess around a little bit today with, let me see here. Challenge, module drop. I messed around with Dokyoki. I did a run that beat it, but the comp was slower than the comp that I could use anyway. And the comp that this run right here is very reliable. It's just also very reliably slow. But look at all the shielding in this comp. Valerian gives people a shield when their turn starts. Obviously, Fuqui's doing her thing. And then I have just Silence in here as my replacement to Kazuyo the Reverie. So, like, you lose sleep, but Silence's forgetfulness debuff will also knock the passive off of the mobs. And she's layering another shield. We got shields on shields on shields. This comp will clear. But one of the things I do want to mention when you're running the Dokyoki version of this, and I'll just go ahead and run this. I'm not going to make you watch this whole like 5-minute clear. But one of the things about this run that you'll see, it's not this skill with Doki. It's her. Well, there's a really odd interaction between that skill and Valerian that just sucks. But anyway, with her skill 2, when she's giving the turn meter reduction, it does not turn meter, or when she's giving the skill cooldown reduction, excuse me, it does not skill cooldown reduce the shell. So for somebody like Yelly, who's relying on like that revelation proc to do her damage, like that's huge damage right there from Yelly, but revelation procced with her skill 3. As soon as she's hit by Doki's skill 2, which is this one right here. So now it missed her that time. It just hit Valerian and it just hit Fuqio, I think. So that's fine. We're still lined up with our cooldowns at this point for Yelly. But if Doki tags her with that, you have a bit of a problem, because now your skill 3 and your revelation proc aren't lined up. And in this first wave, because this comp is a little bit slower and we're not crowd controlling as much and we just have less passive damage than with my regular comp, we don't clear the first wave until Yelly gets her second skill 3 off. Like, sure, Silence is chipping in a little bit of damage, but this isn't a revelation Silence that's built to like destroy people. We're relying mostly on Yelly right here. And you can see it's just slow, but this will clear it. This will clear it. It has the, when I've tested this comp, I've yet to see it lose, but you can see I don't want to make you sit here for like 900 minutes. Well, here, I'm gonna let it finish because I might as well. Heck, we're in it. I might as well get the dub. Okay, anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll keep posting runs that I have that are like auto Inferno runs, especially if they're around newer characters. If you have something that you want to see specifically that I'm capable of building, let me know in the comment section. This is some of my favorite stuff to do in the game, is that like puzzling things together. If you pulled Fuqio, you got a good character on your squad. So good luck out there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.